Hey there, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming. Today, Clash Royale, and you read that right, winning without legendaries. Now, this happened recently in a Mob Crush live stream. I had one of my many tournaments that I run. I'd like to think that I run more tournaments than any other streamer or YouTuber. Over 1,200 people in tournaments today, and the same yesterday, the same tomorrow. So make sure you check me out. But in the meantime, we had this player with Chinese characters for a name that was just crushing it in this tournament. He was so far ahead of the other players, and we'll see that on the scoreboard in a minute. But that wasn't the only significant thing. The fact was, he wasn't using legendaries, and I have to tell you, pretty much every live stream, every video I put out, people are complaining that they can't win without legendaries, that they're getting crushed by cards, by legendary cards, by players that have legendary cards. And while yes, there are some advantages to having legendaries, no, I do not truly believe that you can't beat a legendary card player. Now, I will say that this is probably the first tournament I've ever hosted where a player ended up winning without using legendary cards, so that does tell you something about what's happening. Now, of course, you'll notice that the opponent in this match had almost the identical deck that our friend here at the bottom with the Chinese character had. So this isn't necessarily the best example of a battle, but it's just the first one that we watched in full. And it comes down to skill, I gotta tell you. Now, I admit I tried this deck for a few battles later on in the live stream and did not have a lot of luck. Again, I do talk about the fact that it does help to be practiced. Going all the way back to the Helsinki tournament and the Jason deck, he had so many battles won with that deck. It is something to be said about just learning exactly when each troop deployment is going to work the best. But this player right here, we're going to call him Wolf because that's what he claimed his name was in the live stream. Over and over again, just demolished other players in some of the most dominant tournament play I've ever seen. So many 3-crown wins again and again with non-legendary cards. A pretty vanilla looking deck, nothing that exciting like a goblin barrel, not even so much as a witch in there, and well, just annihilating all of these other players. So as this one wraps up, we go back out and we take a look right here. Look at that lead, 44 trophies. Okay, that's not a huge lead, but it is going to be extended in the final minutes of this tournament. You can see 20 minutes left, and it looks like maybe he is taking a break, but in the chat in the stream, he said he was having difficulty finding opponents. He would sit and search for several minutes sometimes trying to find another opponent. As you can see, nobody else within 100 trophies of him was available for a battle. Here he goes back into another battle, and we'll watch this one right from the start. Now, I will give you a preview. The opponent's deck this time has one legendary only, the Princess, and it also has a P.E.K.K.A, which to me seems like it might be the ultimate counter card to this deck, as the P.E.K.K.A, there it is, the first P.E.K.K.A is going to annihilate that giant, and really, this player, Wolf, is using the giant as the card that's getting most of the damage done. The rest of these units, even the Prince and the mini P.E.K.K.A, are just auxiliary cards that are helping to prevent pushes from the opponent, and the giant getting a lot of damage done early on doesn't look that great. In fact, Wolf throwing a couple of well plays up. I'm assuming he meant nicely, he meant well with those. Now, the P.E.K.K.A isn't going to get to the tower, gets worn down. Smart by saving Elixir right there, not bothering to throw anything in front. You can see now we're getting a lot of spectators. As we were watching these in the stream, everybody wanted to see exactly what was happening. Excitement starting to build to see a player without legendary cards going in and wiping other players out. Now, his opponent here is double pumping on the left-hand side early, so that is going to give him a big advantage in this freeze spell. Also, very solid play right there. Gets the giant out of the way, gets the mini P.E.K.K.A out of the way, and of course continues to give him an elixir lead as he's got way more pumping going on than Wolf does. And right here, talk about unusual decks. The P.E.K.K.A Balloon deck, I cannot say I've talked about the P.E.K.K.A Balloon Minion Horde deck before, but he's gotten to the tower, and early on, it looks like Wolf is in big trouble, suffering a lot of damage on that right lane tower, and again, behind in Elixir, and again, throwing up the compliment, the well played. But I'm telling you, that wizard maybe one of the most underrated cards we saw in so many battles in this live stream. So much damage from a simple regular elixir wizard, or a non-ice wizard I should say. Again, here comes the giant, again with the prince pushing that giant forward, and once again the freeze spell and the full-size P.E.K.K.A. going to work on Wolf's push. But once again, look at it, chip damage from the giant. You wouldn't think that that's what's doing it with cards like the mini P.E.K.K.A., but it's the giant that is really doing the work here. It is the workhorse of this deck. The wizard also great DPS, especially on groups of units. And now our friend Wolf has grabbed a 1 crown lead, final 15 seconds of this battle. And honestly, this was surprising. It was one of the few non-3 crown wins that we saw. And I have a feeling that he had such a huge lead in this tournament simply because of the speed at which he was ending battles. Very few battles were playing out to the full 3 minutes because Wolf was 3 crowning every opponent and finishing the battles early, moving on to another battle, and that's what enabled him to get such a huge lead. We've talked about that. In these shorter 1-hour tournaments, it's very difficult to stack up a big lead because simply, unless you are 3 crowning people, you're not going to be able to get the number of battles in that you need to extend an advantage over other players. So right here, Wolf had a 34 trophy advantage over Trip Wolf, and we're going to go in and watch another battle, this one against GSB Rocks. Now again, GSB, a non-legendary player, but nonetheless, trust me, just take my word for it, there were so many legendary card battles that our friend Wolf here at the bottom defeated other players with. I didn't think to record them until later on because of the dominance that he exerted in this tournament. I had honestly rarely seen this dominant play happening ever before in a tournament. Just so many 3 crown wins. And right here, it doesn't look good. Look at this push, the giant, the barbs, and somehow just that wizard is going to get the bulk of the work done. And check it out, wiping just about everybody out and a push of his own. And watch this closely. The giant gets put down as a counter. The arrows, the guards are going to go down. Everybody but the wizard is going to fall. And watch Wolf squeeze in a giant right in front of the wizard right there. And you saw GSB Rocks put up the good game. Wolf answered with a good game of his own. They both kind of know it's over. At this point, too much of a push. The giant and the wizard, such a deadly combination. But as the opponent tries to save up for a desperation 3 musketeer assault down the right lane, this battle is abruptly coming to an end as it's about to be a 3 crown win. Another of such a long list of 3 crown wins for Wolf. And again, taking a big lead in the tournament. But probably the most exciting match of the entire tournament is just about to come up, as check it out. You've got 13 minutes left in the tournament. You've got Trip Wolf in second place, 21 trophies behind Wolf, the Chinese character player, in first place. Now, neither one of them are in a battle right now, and we were hanging out in the stream waiting to see what would happen, waiting to see if one or both of those players are searching for another battle. Obviously, Trip Wolf knows that he's got to grab at least one more win, and you know that Wolf, with the Chinese characters, probably not feeling relaxed right now with only a 21 trophy advantage over second place. Now, sometimes late in tournaments, you will see players that don't play at all, that they know they have a big enough lead or they don't want to risk it. Obviously, there's a huge drop-off, but check it out right there as both players count down at the same time, and we know what that means. First and second place are now battling each other in the final minutes of this tournament. So as it gets underway, Trip Wolf immediately throws in a Hog Rider trying to assault that tower, does get a couple of shots in, takes about 500 hit points off that tower, and there is the one and only legendary card in Trip Wolf COC's deck. He has the Ice Wizard. Now, if you go back and look at the standings right before this battle began, Trip Wolf and Wolf at the bottom of the screen were in the lead, and the gap between second and third place was 50 trophies. Trip a full 50 trophies ahead of third place, so you know he had to feel good about a top 3 finish. But this battle definitely going to put both players' skills to the test. Lots of people watching, lots of confetti being thrown on the battlefield there, and a well played early on from Wolf as he can't get anybody through. His opponent has the lead right now, having gotten damage on both towers, but here comes the old reliable wizard, and check out that splash damage. So much damage from the wizard before it fell, but again, the Hog Rider getting through, and now a big early lead for Tripwolf. Both towers damaged, and that right lane tower just a hair above 1,200 hit points remaining. But Tripwolf is at a disadvantage in elixir collectors. Check it out, 2 of them going at the same time. Now, he did poison one of them. You've got to try to mitigate that elixir output or be in big trouble, especially in the final minute of the battle. Here comes a giant bottom right, so you know a big push is on its way. Tripwolf preparing to defend, and here comes the giant followed or pushed by the Prince. Once again, the Prince charging, catches up. Ice Spirit, Mini P.E.K.K.A, everybody together. This is a huge push, but Tripwolf doing a good job of slowing things down. Drops a Valkyrie right smack in the middle of everything, but it's not quite going to be enough. You're still going to have a couple of units, and there's a Mini P.E.K.K.A in there. It's hard to see it, but within those guards was a Mini P.E.K.K.A, and that's why such a massive amount of hit points came off that tower in such a short period of time. Just a sneaky little Mini P.E.K.K.A got in there. Right here, defending again with that Ice Spirit, such an underrated card. The Mini P.E.K.K.A, the Prince, stopping that push as well. And now with 30 seconds left, things are so close. But Wolf at the bottom of your screen with another big push. The Valkyrie right in the middle, but you've got twin Princes, 2 Princes moving in. It's just going to overwhelm things right here. The cannon goes down, the Ice Wizard goes down, a Mini P.E.K.K.A joins the mix. But the Giants again and the Princes are going to take the tower down. Good game. Last 5 seconds countdown, and Tripwolf just can't stop the push. Now right here, my iPad crashed. So we know how the battle ended, obviously, but we missed the last couple of seconds. By the time I get back in, you can see that there is almost an 80 trophy gap between first and second place going into the final 5 minutes of this battle. We pop back in, and Wolf is again in another battle, this time with Dead Ghost from Nova UK2, and his opponent already throwing up the well played. You can see it's pretty close down the right lane once again, but here it comes. The Giant, the Prince, the Wizard, the Ice Spirit combination, making it look so easy. I gotta tell you, when I watch this over and over again, it just makes me want to play it. Now he is facing an opponent that has brought 4, yes, count them, 4 legendary cards to the battle. Yes, maybe the Lumberjack is a questionable choice, but nonetheless, this battle is over, and Wolf with another big win, time running out, grabs a 1 crown victory, and that is going to seal the fate of this tournament. As we go back out and take a look at the final standings as things are going to wind down, there it is right there. Now, you see that Tripwolf did drop down into 3rd place, but our friend Wolf with the Chinese characters, I keep calling him our friend, I don't know, because he was in the stream and he was being a nice guy, I guess. Now, he won, and he won in dominant fashion without using legendary cards. So it wasn't that close. Wolf, congratulations on a big win, and again, it's not always the legendaries that do it. I can understand players' frustrations, but it really, once again, comes down to skill first if you've got the basic cards. Now, I will qualify that by saying that I am very much looking forward to the change in making legendary cards more available to everybody. I think that's super important, and I have my fingers crossed that when the Clash Royale team said that, they meant that it's going to be a big change, not a little change, not 5 or 10% more legendary cards, but a way that every free-to-play player can unlock legendary cards more easily, and not necessarily a bunch of them, maybe just 1, get it unlocked, and now you've got it, so at least you can use it in tournaments. So again, as always, I look to you guys for your comments, questions, concerns, suggestions. Please do leave them down below in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for the earliest possible update and, of course, sneak peek information, and stay tuned. Thank you guys again for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you all back here again tomorrow for more Full Attacks.
Gallydon, I've got some criticism for you, but it's not constructive. I suppose you don't want that kind, eh?